As always, folks, today in the studio, I got a real treat for you. Justin Colby, what's cracking?
What's up, dude?
Dude, if you guys don't know Justin Colby, you can follow him at the Justin Colby or the, depending on where you're from, how you pronounce that. The Justin Colby, just like it sounds, Colby. You can also go to his website, thescienceofflipping.com, and by that title, you could probably imagine this dude is a real estate entrepreneur and investor.
Yes, sir.
You flipped over 2,000 houses?
Done this 15 years.
Personally.
Man. Personally. No, I didn't swing any hammers, let's be honest and clear here. I can barely put in a light bulb, bro. That's the real story. But
you know people who can, obviously.
That's right. It's called leverage, right?
Because you need a good crew, don't you?
You do.
A buddy of mine said the key to flipping is the crew that can go in there and get it done quickly.
And at cost. That's the challenge with rehabbing, right? Is the contractors. So you find a good person that or team that can do this speed, on time, and on cost. They're the most valuable part of your team.
One of my little posts went viral the other day.
Yeah.
It was a close that I use.
Okay.
It basically says we do things three ways: fast, good, and cheap. But you can only pick two. So which two would you like?
Damn, I like fast and good.
Well, then it won't be cheap.
That's right. That's right. You get what you pay for. I believe that all the way through any vertical, anything you want to talk about. I don't care what it is. You get what you pay for. So I'd rather overpay and get it done fast and good, because I don't want to sacrifice. There you go. Drop bombs on them.
That's a bomb, son. I'm the one that gets to decide, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Everybody tries to get me to drop bombs when they think it's time for me. So 2,000, dude, in 15 years, you said?
Yeah, I started in 2007.
Like, that's quite a few still.
Yeah.
That's 100 a year?
Well,
100
now
plus a year.
Now you've had enough real estate guys to realize. So just for clarity purposes, I haven't rehabbed all 200,000. I've flipped paper, meaning wholesaled some of those, or a good part of those.
Just found something and sold it.
Yeah. Now I've done somewhere between 600 and 700 real rehab flips in those years.
Do you think if you went bankrupt right now, you'd be able to get back on your feet pretty quick?
30 days.
30 days?
Not even.
How?
Real estate.
What would you do?
Wholesale deals.
What if your credit shit?
You don't need credit.
What if you got tax liens?
Doesn't matter.
What if you're a felon?
None of it, bro.
What if you got issues?
Keep coming. My answer is none.
Anyone can do it.
Anybody can do it.
How come there's not all these people doing it then?
Oh, you know what the funny thing is, Brad? It takes work. You actually have to go get it. You have to go be willing 10, 15 hours a day if need be.
But dude, I'll bet you there's a lot of dudes out there, and girls for that matter.
Yeah.
When I say dudes, I mean people. There's people out there willing to do the work. They just don't know what work to do.
That's right.
So let's say you are sitting there broke. When I say broke, no real money. Obviously, you might have gas money or something, but you don't have any money.
Yeah.
And you want to start getting involved in real estate. What would you do?
Call Justin Colby.
Yeah, but seriously, after that, what would you do? Like, go knock on doors and say, hey, you looking to sell your home? Are you looking for overgrown lawns? And like, is there a list you can go purchase at the county? Or, what's the secret?
You got it dialed in. So the first thing, if you really don't have money, there's a lot on YouTube. I have a channel. There's channels
What is your
everywhere.
channel on YouTube?
Justin Colby. YouTube.com/Justin Colby.
Well, just for the sake of promotion.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we send everybody to your channel, not everybody else's.
Well, I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can come check out my YouTube, youtube.com/Justin Colby. And then, but there's just a lot of free information, because you can go around neighborhoods, whether you live in the neighborhood or you go into a different neighborhood, and you can go look at, people that don't take care of the outside of the house. If they don't take care of the outside of the house, why would they not do that? Do you take care of the outside of your house?
Well, landscapers do.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, I tried this once about, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I kept hearing about the flipping. So I'm like, let me go try this.
Yeah.
So, and I had money. I couldn't find any deals. I'd find overgrown properties and ask people you want it, and everybody wanted more than market, and everyone thought their house was worth more than it was. And it was a pain in my ass. And I'm like, dude, this is dumb. I ain't doing it.
Right now, that is exactly what's happening. People don't realize, they think their home is still worth what it was 6 months ago before the interest rates and all this stuff. It's just not. We've had a crazy last 3 years. I think you could support that. Like the real estate market has been appreciating like 20% annually.
Yeah.
That's insanity, right? Normal is 3 to 5%. Normal. So 20% year over year is insane. I just bought a home in Miami, Florida, And literally, I just got a realtor saying, hey, your home is appreciated $300,000. I'm like, I bought it in October 2021.
Well, that's what I'm saying in the green room. Like, how are we in a recession?
No, and I can understand the optics of that. But in general, like, people can't go afford a first-time home anymore. They can't go buy that $500,000 home because the interest rates are 6.5% or 7%.
Well, why is it so?
Well, you're just not going to have the same volume of purchasing, right? And
well,
so
you just can't afford the same
house.
Yeah,
that's right.
But you can still afford a house.
Something. But I make the argument, it's interesting. I've been in real estate for the last 15 years. I make the argument most people, like vast majority of people, should not buy a home. They don't understand what the cost of really what goes into a home. Give you another great example of my personal home. Bought the home, had to do some stuff to get the home done, and insurance allowing to insure the home. 2 months ago, we have 12 days of rain. My roof starts leaking. I have a $40,000 roof problem all of a sudden. If I didn't have the income I have, I'm up shit creek, right? Most people don't even account for stuff like that.
I could have showed you how to fix that for $10.
Right. You're hired. So my point being is most people don't realize the actual, maintenance of having a home, not like remodeling. I'm saying like yard work, roof, things that can go wrong if you have a basement, pipe, electrical. So my point being is I'm actually more of an advocate of people not buying their own home until they're genuinely financially can afford it, right? Because there's a lot of cost that comes with homes. And my accountant's going to murder me for saying this because he's always been like, Justin, you need a home. I've been a renter. Tax write-off, that 40 grand that's going to go into my roof wipes away my interest in insurance and all the things I'm writing off, right? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense financially. I'd rather be putting it into rental properties where I'm making money, right?
What do you think about Airbnbs?
Love them. I think certain markets got overpopulated with them, so the numbers aren't there anymore, but I love them. I mean, Vegas, you can't do it. I'm here in Vegas.
Why?
I mean, well, you technically can still, but the hotels are cracking down on it. They don't want that competition. They don't want you having a 12,000 square foot mega mansion and being able to rent it for $22,000 a night or whatever, right? I'm using fake example, but they don't want that. They want the people that can spend that kind of money. They want those whales over at the Wynn and MGM and everywhere else, right?
Where do you think the best real estate markets are right now?
Oof. For me, for my buying criteria, like middle America, the Sunbelt. From North Carolina, kind of down through North Carolina, South Carolina. I love Florida still, like Jacksonville. Miami's tough. Phoenix is tough. Vegas can be tough, but like Sunbelt states, right? So all the way through Texas. I have rentals in Alabama, Oklahoma. I love those markets because the price point. So my thought is if you can buy a home that is a great flip and a great rental, you're always going to win. And the best way to do that is to stay under, median price point right now is $400,000 across the entire United States. That means in like Wichita, Kansas, the median price point, like every market, that's incredibly high. It's unreasonably high. But I like to stay in 30% less than that. So I want to be in markets that are under 300,000. I think that's the best markets to be
for the median home.
Totally, yeah. Because it's a good rental. So let's say you go buy it because you want to rehab flip it, but it doesn't math out. Like you can't get the dollars you want. Well, you're not going to really lose because it's a $250,000 home. Just rent the damn thing. You're never going to really lose your ass. So I love all the Sunbelt markets.
Well, renters sometimes are assholes.
Facts.
So how do you deal with all the damage that renters leave behind?
That is why landlords get very tired of being landlords, right? I mean, I personally have property management groups, but tenant leaves and you have a hole in the wall, and that's the pain in the ass about being a landlord,
or
right?
Screwed up carpet.
Totally, got to replace it. So you need to understand how to like financially model it out, where you need to have reserves. So when that tenant does leave, there's cash in the bank that you can go recarpet or fix the hole.
Why would you ever recarpet? Why wouldn't you just put in some different kind of floors?
LVP.
Something.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, those
you
are
don't
the
want
decisions.
carpet. Carpet can get torn up and
100%.
stained and problematic if you go in there and put like those like outside in my lobby right there.
100%. Tile is huge. LVP, which is just like a nice way of saying laminate. This is LVP, right? It's something that can lay on top of the floor and is very difficult to damage.
This was here when it started because like we were going to put mats down.
Yeah.
So I should have went stained cement. Is that more expensive?
Yeah.
Why is stained cement so much more expensive? It's already cement.
No, brother, I don't know. I don't know how they price the damn thing, but it's going to be more expensive than LVP. This is just like a fancy way of saying like plastic. I mean, that's what all it is. They basically lay plastic over the floor.
Looks
but
good.
It'll last
Looks
forever.
Good,
I mean,
though, don't it?
Huh? What? I didn't hear you said.
Yeah, I said it works in a studio. It's not going to work in a living room.
No. Well, there's different versions of this, right?
So is that out there, the wood looking stuff, LVP?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that wasn't very expensive.
Oh, cheap.
But it looks good.
And you'll have 10,000 people walk, like it'll never get worn.
So is that what you learn in 15 years, is what to put in and what not to put in, or do you learn more where to get the money and where to get the deals?
How to even raise money. I mean, part of the key, and you kind of peppered me with questions about, do you need credit? And what, you don't need any of that, even if you're flipping properties. I bought 14 rentals last year alone with not $1 of my own. Not one. I could have, but I didn't have to. So why wouldn't I use other people's money?
Where were you looking?
What do you mean? To find the money?
No, to find the property. Like, dude, listen,
Middle
anybody
America.
listening right now, if you guys have properties and you want me to take a look at them,
That's it.
just hit me in the DM.
That's it.
Because I'll look at all the properties.
Yeah.
Where are people finding these deals with zero down? Like, if you want to give me your house, or you want me to save you from getting your house BK'd, call me. Why? Because I'll figure out how to save your ass and get myself a good deal at the same time.
100%.
So is that how you're doing it?
Some of it, yeah. So some of it's creative financing, right? Is to be able to be creative. So the lack of ideas and understanding is really why creative financing works or doesn't, right? So someone like yourself, very smart enough to figure it out. Some people are like, I don't even know where to start. How do I get this creative? How do I take over the loan? How do I get myself into this with no money down? I fully believe you would understand how to do that. Or you can call me and I'll say, hey, Brad, this is what you do.
Well, dude, I've called Pace.
And what did he say?
Pace said he'll find me a house in Florida, because I said I'll take a mansion.
That's it.
Because I'm not looking for like investment. Like, I was looking in Nashville. I found one myself. But to me, I need to get into real estate.
Okay.
So every time I see someone come up that says real estate entrepreneur, I'm like, yeah, I'll get him on the show.
There you go.
Because I'm starting to like take more serious look at it. And I'm realizing you don't want to, like, I want a bunch of trophy properties. You don't really want trophy properties. You just want a bunch of shitholes.
So I would say it depends on what you're trying to do. So one of the things I always tell all my students, right, is start with the end in mind first, work it backwards.
I just want good returns on my dough.
That's it. Then go get a bunch of $200,000 homes and
so
get
if
200 of them.
Let's say I'm deploying $1 million.
Yeah.
I go out and buy cheap $200,000-$300,000 houses until my million's
with more
gone.
headaches than going and buying a 50-unit apartment complex. You could do both.
There would be more headaches
in the single-family homes than a 50-unit apartment.
So if I had $1 million to invest, you would suggest go buy some apartments.
Potentially.
One shot.
One shot, one roof, usually a manager on site typically, right? And you don't have as much headaches and hurdles in that way, but they're harder to come by.
What if you're looking to invest $5 million?
Bigger property.
Multifamily.
Go after a 200 unit.
At what point does hotels come into the picture?
Do you want to be a hotelier?
No.
Right.
But if you think Airbnbs and rentals, hotels, just rentals.
Yeah. And then you can go to the Airbnb then, right? So I would.
But why not hotels?
I just feel like there's more moving parts, right? You have a business, right? You have an actual cash exchange business daily, right, of the hotel. So someone's got to manage that, operate that, food. Are you doing in-room dining, not in-room dining? Now, there's a version of hotels now recently in the last couple of years since COVID that I freaking love. They're literally, I think they're called turnkey, but there's no management. There's no dining. There's nothing. You literally don't even have a way to check in. It's all online, and they give you a code. You know, your house, my house has like a code on the front door.
Yeah.
They give you that to your hotel room, and it changes every day. And they'll text you tomorrow. You're staying at the same hotel room. They'll say what your new code is.
Huh.
And I think those are brilliant. I just stayed one down in San Diego. I was like, this is the coolest thing.
It's like an apartment home.
And basically they just took like an old motel looking thing, remodeled it, made it look nice, made it look cool. And now there's no personnel. There's no management. There's no overhead cost beyond like turning the room, right? So you have a maid turn the room. That's it. And then it's just a real estate play.
What is the most money you've made in one single transaction?
That is a great question. I can tell you the most money I've lost in a single transaction, ironically. The money, I want to say just north of like 100 and something grand on a flip, but I don't play in the million. You got to remember, I don't play in those big boy numbers, right? I have students that do. I'm going to do a meetup tonight here in Vegas. One of my past students from years ago, he's doing a $4.6 million flip right over here in just south of Summerlin. Is it Spring Valley? Is that right?
There is something called that. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm holding a meetup for all the local real estate guys here and just Q&A, what's up, meet and greet, hang out. But I mean, he stands to make 7 figures on that. I just don't play in that area. The reason why I remember my big losses is because when I did try to play in that area, guess what I did? I took my L, took a $250,000 loss.
Why?
Didn't know what I was doing, bro. Right? Just outside of my own expertise.
But there had to be something that
I didn't remodel it right. I under remodeled it. Right. And then the last thing that really hurt is that price point when north of the $1 million, specifically in this area of Phoenix, a lot older clientele, they don't want their master suite on the second floor. I didn't think that all the way through. So everyone was like, oh, great, beautiful home. I want my master suite on the first floor. I'm 75 years old. Right. And I didn't really think that through. Back to the whole, I didn't play in that area. I didn't have the experience to think through like, oh, this price point, people need real money. This isn't like a $300,000 home. And, you know, took my $250,000 loss.
Did that hurt?
Hell yeah, it hurt.
Didn't put you out of business though.
No. You learn. Sometimes you earn, sometimes you learn. So I tell this all the time to my students. I'm not afraid to share my losses because I'm a real person. I'm not perfect in all realms. I don't do every deal. It's not like the golden goose, right? But I'll tell you, there's always going to be losses. You need to be able to put your head down and get through those losses and take the learning lesson from them.
One of my teams put down talking points. Be grateful. What do you talk about being grateful for?
Everything, even the losses. If I didn't learn that lesson, can you imagine the other mistakes that I could have been making if I didn't learn the lesson of what I needed to learn on that? So I'm grateful for all of it.
So,
right?
So how old are you? 41?
41.
So you started when you were 26?
Yeah.
So how did you start? What were you doing?
Broke, busted, and disgusted. Just lost my first home to foreclosure, right? I was a realtor at the time, printing money because everyone back in 2005 and 6 was printing money. And I was literally what I call like an order taker. I would sit in a new home build, right? So my friend's dad was a builder. He gave us all his new homes to sell. So I didn't build a single skill, not a skill set. I would sit at a desk just like this. I had 18 people come in. I have 18 offers. I'd sift them through. Who has the highest number? All right, we're taking this one today. That was it. That was my entire day-to-day life. Printing money, $100,000 cars. Like I did exactly what every 25, 26-year-old man would do, right? Then day of reckoning came, lost it all. Repo man took my car. There's a very funny story about that, by the way, if you want to hear that one. And I was sleeping on my friend's couch because I just told myself I'm not running home to mommy saying, wah, you know, take me back, right? Type of thing. I was like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm 25, 26 at the time. I'm going to figure it out. So, at that time I started calling. I knew I loved real estate. Being a real estate agent was not for me. Hated it.
Well, not many get rich selling it.
That's it.
They usually get rich buying it.
Yeah. So I knew that though. And I knew real estate was my play. But back then, dude, there was no Justin Colby's YouTube channel to go watch. There was nobody, right? That the online presence wasn't there yet. So guess the only way I knew how to go get a deal, realtors. Where else was I going to go get a property flip? I had no money. I just lost my home to foreclosure. My repo man took my car. I'm sleeping on the couch. But I faked it till I made it. Hey, Bradley, biggest realtor in Vegas. Great. I'm your biggest upcoming client. I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking for the best deals. Let me know when something. And I made 100 calls a day from my cell phone.
Two realtors
that I didn't even know, right? On realtor.com. I went to realtor.com and literally just called through 100
a day. And then eventually they called you?
Yeah.
But when they call you, they're wanting to make some sort of commission on that deal. No?
Yeah, and they will.
So I know, but like if you go do some creative financing bullshit with the owner, then I
didn't know that back then. I didn't even know how to do anything back then. There was no creative financing when I didn't know. Remember, again, back then it was just, there was no Pace, Justin Colby. There was none of us, right? We had to all kind of figure that out on our own. So back then there was something called transactional funding. So it was usually a lending group that would charge you 2 points. The money would be out of pocket for 24 hours. So that's an expensive loan if you really do the math, right? In 24 hours, they're going to make 2 points. It's expensive. 100 grand, 2 grand. That's great for them. But I could flip a home in 24 hours, right? I'd make an offer with the realtor. Bradley, the flipper, wants it. So basically I would fund it with transactional funding at 100 grand, sell it to you for 105 grand. Same day, next day.
Make 3 G's.
Done.
How did you know the people with the money?
Transactional funding was just something that I found online that it was like that type of transaction, 24-hour type money. So I called them. I had to figure out like, what is this? How does this even work?
Repo, like how'd you get approved?
Nothing's asset based. So I had to go find the end buyer, Bradley in this case, and I had to make sure you were in contract with me before they were willing to fund. So there was 2 separate escrows essentially. There was me selling it to you and me buying it from the homeowner. So as long as you and I were in contract in escrow, they would fund the deal.
So let's say I woke up tomorrow, all this is gone. I don't have anything, but I remember.
We'd all be sad, bro.
But I remember the podcast and I'm like, I remember what to do.
Yeah.
First thing I do in general is I have to go find a deal.
Yeah.
So that's just really calling realtors, putting the word out.
I love the realtor play. People underestimate it.
Even with social media nowadays, that's the play.
You know, social media is gaining a little bit, but think about how social media works. It's interest-based, not intent-based, right? So I use Google versus Facebook.
Yeah, but like telling people at once, like for example, if I said, hey, listen, this podcast gets listened to quite a few people. So let's assume that there's some realtors listening.
Yeah.
So realtors, I'm in the market for real estate now. So if you have a deal, call me. Now they call me with a bunch of retail deals I'm not interested in. I'm not really wanting to buy a house. I'm really looking for good ass deals.
That's right.
And by the way, that reminds me, how come a realtor doesn't buy it if it's such a good ass deal?
They don't know they don't know how to be creative. They don't know how to creatively structure it.
So realtors should come see you.
100%.
Because I'll tell you, the most realtors I know are not rich. They're struggling.
Yeah, they make some money, but they're not.
No, I mean, the majority don't make shit.
Right.
Like under 60 G's a year.
That's exactly right.
So it's like, what the hell? Why wouldn't they just like, because they know where the homes are. They get the people saying, I'll list my house. Why don't they themselves say, hey, instead of me listing your house, why don't I just buy your house?
I would ask the same question. Why
and
don't
then
they
get creative,
well,
especially when people are losing their house. I don't understand how people lose their house with equity.
That part is frustrating. Well, not frustrating. I don't get frustrated, but like that question is exactly right. You have 100 grand equity and you're going to lose your home.
Call me. If you have equity in your house and you're losing it, call me.
That's it.
Don't call Justin. Call me. I'll call Justin.
That's it.
You call me. See, I just put myself in the real estate game with a podcast.
Well, and you should, by the way. There's not a person that I'm in the circles with that shouldn't be in real estate. You don't even have to be go ahead.
But does social media play a role in it? So in other words, you say, Brad, you have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
You have a lot of listeners.
Yeah.
If you just said this, this, and this, and just asked for these type of leads and then send them to me, we can make a bunch of money together.
100%. So why wouldn't you ask? People, send Brad your deal. If you are in a place of tax liens you can't afford, you just lost your job, which is very real right now, and or the mortgage is getting out of control. You know what a great list is right now? There's a lot of people that their loans are about to be up. They did a 15-year loan. They did a 30-year loan. They still have a mortgage on it and they're going to have to refi. How many people are going to go want to refi from a 4, 5, 6% or whatever they did 5, 10, 15 years ago? They're not going to be able to refi.
Okay.
That's a great list.
So why can't they?
Well, technically, I guess they could, but now they're going to get, what, a 7% interest rate versus what they used to have, which is a 4%.
So
and now they need to make sure. Now they got to bridge that gap.
So they call me.
They got to call Brad because
Big
Brad's
Daddy
call
B.
Me, and then we're going to all be doing stuff and we're all going to be making some money in real estate.
So except them.
Except, well, they're in a tough spot.
Yeah, we'll be getting them out of a tough spot.
That's right. So we're going to be the value add.
I'll even go a step further. If you guys are in those situations, you hit me up, say 911 so I know it's from this. Got to say 911.
That's it.
And then Justin and I will reach out to you, figure out how we can help you. And I'll give people some walk-in papers, meaning money.
That's it.
Because dude, if you came to me and you said, Brad, 911, here's my situation. And I know, man, I'm going to make 100 G's on this. I am too freaking nice to just take it all. I would say, bro, I'll get you out of the jam and I'll cut you in on that 100 G's.
Well, see, now most people probably don't know you well enough to know you're that nice. So I'm glad you said that, because that's the right way to do it. It's not a, if we win, they lose. That's not the game, dude. Everyone can win. Everyone can feel good about it. And these people are really in a big actual need. Right? This is
not only that, Justin, but shit, I'll probably be buying these properties to just rent out. So if you don't want to move, but you're about to get booted, call me. I'll buy the house and I'll leave you in there as a renter.
There you go. There's some tricky stuff you have to work around. You don't have to pay off the loan in that case, right?
That's okay.
That's fine. But yeah, why not? Now you just need to make sure they can afford it. Because if they can't pay the mortgage, why are they going to be paying you as the landlord?
Well, at least they'll have a little more time to figure it out.
There you go.
Because if they're good people, dude, all I'm saying is, man, I don't know if I'd be good at that landlord shit, because I feel...
You wouldn't. I'm telling you now.
I'm a lay down. Like, I'm soft when it comes to helping.
Hey, Brad,
people.
I can't pay this month. No problem, dude.
Don't worry about it, dude.
Yeah,
get back on your feet. Pay me later.
You want a property manager? They can go be your Rottweiler for you.
You how much you pay property managers?
10% is typical. So if you're making $1,000
so
a month,
if I can get you a property manager for 5%, would you want it?
Duh.
Yeah.
Let's go.
See?
I see now. I want to be doing more deals in Vegas. I think Vegas is just an incredible market. On the lower end, by the way.
Well, I'll tell you right now, bro,
market.
My wife looks for houses every day. But
How many have you bought?
She wants bigger houses.
Well, she wants a house for you.
There's not a lot on the market. They're just not. And
tell her,
and
why
right
don't you
now,
guys come tonight to my buddy's flip? $4.6 million, 7,000 square feet, I think in Springfield.
Not Springfield, Spring Valley.
Spring Valley.
Yeah, because we don't want to live over there.
Yeah, Spring Valley. Come tonight. Come check it out. I think Tiesto is in not contract, but negotiating deal on it.
Well, I'm not looking
You're
over
out
there.
on that. Yeah.
Like there has to be a certain part of town for me.
Fair.
I'm not living in
Henderson?
Sunderland. Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy Greg lives in Henderson.
Anthem, Seven Hills area.
Sure.
Anthem, Seven Hills area.
Well, what's your wife looking for? Is she looking for a flip or a Airbnb for you guys?
She's looking for a house that's ready to go. She ain't looking to flip it. She ain't looking to invest. She's looking to spend.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got it. Well, you have good taste, right? So there's just not going to be that much on the market.
Yeah, there isn't.
Brad Lee's is going to want to go buy.
There isn't. But as an investor, I'm looking for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 houses, or what?
I like that model. It doesn't have to be everyone's model, right? There are people that do very well in the higher end model, even as a hold, right? Between Airbnbs and just good, numbers on a hold. I just like the model of not taking on as much risk.
But
right?
with all those, you need money to invest.
The bigger price point or the lower price point?
The bigger ones, more than likely, no?
So here's how you can get around that. Let's just use the example. I go find $1 million property that's going to be a great rental here in Vegas. I called my guy, Brad. Brad, here's the deal. I can't buy every property I have. There's a property I have right now. It's a great buy. It's $1.2 million. We can figure out the 80% down, but are you willing to be my capital partner and give me the 20% I need to get this locked up, and then we can own it together? You can be a partner in the deal. You don't have to literally do anything but give me some capital. I'll go get the other part of the loan. Now we have this rental together.
And
Brad says, you know what? I need to go.
Back?
We can refi out. I mean, it depends. We can refi out / the partnership could be every dollar that comes into the partnership goes back to Brad because he was the capital partner. So until Brad's made whole or whatever, it's all negotiations, right? Or we could refi out if there's equity and we can go get a loan once it's performing, take your $200,000 out. But that's a way that someone like myself, I get, 50 brand new leads every day, if not more. I mean, at some point I don't have enough capital to just do everything I want. So those relationships are massively valuable where I can call Brad and say, hey dude, you want to do this one together? Well, now we're partners, but I didn't need the extra $200,000 to do this one deal. And I can still do my smaller deals over here and go for the volume play. But that's a way that people that no cash, no credit, no problem, right? Now you need some Brads or Justins in your life to be able to do that, but it's very viable.
Every time I think about it, man, I just think, man, I got to get into real estate somehow.
Put some time. I mean,
every time I get ready to put some time into it, it's like shit comes up and it's like, I got no time. And then someone says, well, just give me the money or invest with me. And then I'm like, well, then I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And not only that, I don't necessarily know when I'll get it back.
That's right.
So it's like, I like things where, like if you said, hey, give me 500 grand for this house and you'll get 600 grand back in 90 days. I'll do that. Why? Well, because I know in 90 days I'm getting my money plus 20%.
That's right.
And I have to trust you.
So you could also do a fund, someone like yourself. So I'm creating a fund right now, $12 million fund. It's actually based out of Las Vegas. There's a time when you get your money back. The investors get 70% equity of everything that we do in the fund, and you get a preferred return. So all those criteria that Brad Lee has about, like, I want to know what we're doing.
But what if you guys screw up and lose it?
Can't. It won't happen.
Because it's real estate backed?
Yeah. And there's more than one investor. It's not me calling Brad, hey, I need 12 million. There's 20 Brads, whatever.
Well, they're all accredited, right? You're not going to unaccredited investors.
Correct. Need to have $1 million net worth, right? And so, there's that opportunity for someone like yourself that gives you all three of those data points. When you're getting back. Anyways.
So are you at a point where you don't have to work?
No. Hell no. And,
so
and
you
I'm
have
pretty,
to still flip.
I guess I could say I don't have to, but I'm just, my goal is every time I hit a goal, I kick that goalpost further down that field, right? Like, great, but I want way more. So I just keep kicking the goalpost. So it's not that I have to in that sense. It's that I just want more, right? Like, you don't have to be here, but you are because you want more.
No, I have to be.
Okay, fair.
I have to be, bro. I'm obsessed.
And I think that's where I'm going is like, dude, I'm obsessed with creating this life. I'm 41, dude. I got a lot of life left. I just had my first kid 19 months ago. She's incredible.
Well, dude, you hope you have a lot of life left.
That's right. Well, NAD is going to say I have a lot of life left. We talked about that just a little while ago. So
I know, but like, dude, the other day there was a punk kid on a Zoom I did.
Yeah.
And he was like 16.
Yeah.
And because I'm 53, he says, dude, now that you're 53 and your life's pretty much almost over, what have you learned? I'm like, dude, how do you know your motherfucking life isn't almost over, bitch? You could you could crash in a car crash on the way home and live to 18.
100%.
Like, dude, you got 2 more years left and I might live till 95,
That's
105. Who knows? The average lifespan is what, 78?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like statistically speaking, we'll live till 78.
Right.
On average.
Yeah.
Okay. So I still got 20 years left. How do you know you do? You don't. I could be dead on the way home right after this podcast.
Remember about being grateful? Super grateful for
Ed
all of
Milet, my buddy, did a podcast with that comedian guy. Within a week, dude, that dude had a heart attack and died. He was only 51. His name was David Arnold or something like that.
Yeah. Super cool dude.
Yeah.
He just died right after that.
Boom.
No way. I just saw that. Wow, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy? Like, dude, that's why I'm saying, look, people say, I got a lot of life left. You may not.
No, for
sure. You need to appreciate every day like it's your last day. You need to get moving like it's your last day.
Facts.
Like if I were listening to this podcast and I was kind of in a situation where I don't really have anything going on, I would reach out to you and say, bro, I'll go do the legwork if you show me how to do it.
100%.
Because I'm sure because you coach, so there's obviously I could pay you to coach me. But what about people that don't have money? They call you and say, dude, I'll go do the legwork. I'll go be your soldier in the field.
That's right.
Because there's value in that.
100% there is.
Because to me, it's like, that's what I need is I need someone out in the field knocking on doors. So they come to me and they say, Brad, there's a house right over here. Da, 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 da. And all of a sudden it's like, damn, dude, how'd you find that? Because that's how you wholesale.
That's it.
You go knock on doors and find a deal, and then you find an investor that says, yeah, and then you middleman it. That's all wholesaling is, right?
You're in the middle, you're flipping paper, dude.
Yeah, so wholesaling, anyone can do.
Anybody, age, gender, doesn't matter. Literally, one of my students was 16 years old, got their first deal, now doing multiple deals a month. Anyone can do this. They're called bird dogs, especially the way you're presenting it. It's like, hey, hit up Justin, go find him at the Justin Colby on Instagram. DM them saying, I'll do whatever I can to find you deals, and I'll get that person paid. I go buy a deal or I wholesale it because I have the network. That person's still getting paid either way.
Okay, so from all these people that are going to hit me in the DMs, all I'm going to do is fling them to you.
And then you and I will work something out.
Yeah, and then you just cut a brother in.
Give me all a little for Brad, or what was it?
Piece for my niece.
That's it.
Slice because I'm nice. But you would need a little crustin because you're Justin.
Okay.
A little dustin.
There you go.
A little dusting because you're justing. Folks, if you're out there listening to this and you don't have much going on, I'm telling you right now, you're like the 19th dude I've known that literally got out of the rat race from nothing. Doing this.
Yeah. I mean, literally I'm that story. The reason why I try to resonate with a lot of people is because I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you're trying to quit your job or literally we're broke, busting the sky. Like I wasn't broke financially. I was broke financially, mentally, and spiritually. You know what I mean? Like I was down. I was 25, 26 years old, living on a couch, just lost everything. So I don't care where you're at in life. You can absolutely make it. 100%. I know that to be true. The challenge I will tell you that I face as an educator, someone that coaches people, is people's willingness to do the work. Their willingness to actually take the risk, right?
Why do you think that is? Because that's the truth.
Oh, brother, if you want me to bring it all the way down, I think it's fear-based. I think everything goes back to fear. They are fearful of what their family and friends are going to say about them if they fail.
Yeah, but who cares? They're already failing.
You and I know that. They don't. They care about what Instagram says. They care about what Facebook says. They care even more what mom and dad and friends and cousins say about them, about like, oh, you always go try this thing and it never works out and you're just a failure. So this is one more thing that they're not going to take any action on because they're like, Justin, I have no money. I can't do this. They're going to judge me. Exactly.
So they don't want to hear that.
They don't.
They want to hear this.
That's right. But this is why they don't do a fucking thing, Brad. They will not go try. They won't hit me up. They won't hit you up. Because what if they don't like me? What if they don't answer?
What if you're a scammer?
Right.
You're just trying to sell courses.
Totally.
You're not really making money from flipping. You're making money from teaching me how to flip.
Exactly.
But you, by the way, you are out there flipping too.
Oh, bro, I'll show the HUDs. I don't care.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you're out there flipping. You're not just teaching flipping. No. You're flipping.
Still, to this very day, we're doing anywhere from 10 to 20 deals every single month across the nation. Really,
Is Houston a good market?
In general, I'm going to say yes. I think most major cities in Texas.
What if you buy a house in a flood zone or some shit you wouldn't know?
That's what
about?
I was just going to say about Houston. It's like, yeah, I know, but they just had the flood zone, so insurance gets a little tricky in certain parts of Houston, and that's where I love wholesaling in that aspect. If Brad says, Justin, I want to go hard in Houston, I say, Brad, go wholesale in Houston. You don't know anything about it. You don't know where the flood zones are. You don't know this, that, and the other, right? Just go wholesale, flip paper, make some money. You want to go buy rentals, go find out a little bit more about the markets that you're going to be holding these things in.
You remember Detroit?
Of course.
So I remember people saying you could buy houses in Detroit for $1.
Oh,
and I'm like, I'll take them all for $1. Like, show me where I can buy them all. Yeah. No one ever showed me, but from what I hear, that was real.
Very real. I have a student in Detroit. I call him the mayor of Detroit. He knows every real estate person in Detroit. He's flipping stuff. Now those dollar properties are $5,000 or $6,000, but he's the one now making the $4,999.
But there's still properties for 5Gs?
Yeah. Bro, all the time.
Are they just in neighborhoods no one wants to be in? Are they dilapidated? Yep. Is it crime-ridden? What's the problem?
All of everything you just named is the problem about that, right? But there are people that will redo this whole part of town, right? So they'll come in.
Well, I knew for $1 you can't lose.
No,
there's a structure there, and you get property,
land.
Even
there's
for
nothing
$1.
you can make.
I'll sell it to the crack dealer for more than that.
100%.
If there's crack dealers in the area,
you're buying land, Brad. There's the one thing that you can't make more of, dude. And at some point, someone's come through Detroit and they will buy up all that land. You bought it for $1 and you sold it to them for $5,000 or $20,000 because they're going to go redevelop that entire thing. I mean, if you can get your hand on any amount of land, that's huge.
Where do you live full time?
Miami, Florida. I was in Scottsdale for 12 years, but I just moved.
What do you like better?
I love Miami.
You don't mind the humidity?
No, I didn't find it that bad. And I think it's because I had such expectations, like I'm going to walk out of my door and just be dripping wet like I came out of the shower. It wasn't like that. I mean, it's humidity, especially compared to Vegas or Scottsdale. Sure. But it's not god awful by any chance. Like 115 in Scottsdale or even Vegas, you're just like, this is miserable, right?
No, it's not.
It's
number one, only idiots stand out in it all day.
I was just going to say, no one actually sits in it. Same thing in Miami. When it's humid, no one's sitting in humidity. They're in their house. They're in an office. They're in a movie theater.
Yeah, plus in Miami, the beach is somewhat near, so you can like feel the breeze.
I think Brad's first real estate play, Miami.
I have a house in Miami. Actually,
Come on, man.
Vero Beach.
Yeah, I know Vero Beach really well.
So I have a house a block from the beach in Vero Beach.
Okay.
You want to talk about it?
I would love to talk about it. What are we going to talk about?
Offline, I mean?
Oh, sure. Let's do it.
Because again, someone wants to do a deal with me.
Yeah.
They want to give me that house.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, dude, I'd rather take my cash. He said, Brad, I'm telling you want this. It's a block off the beach. It's got $1.2 million equity.
So why is he giving? What do you mean he's giving it?
Because he wants to do a deal with me. That's
okay.
That we would trade.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that I'd end up with a house instead of my $1 million, but the house might be a better deal.
Let's just talk about it offline. I'll tell you whether there could be a play for you. I just need to know all the details, like what are you getting in exchange, but we can talk about it offline.
Folks, if you haven't done it already, go check him out. The Justin Colby. Go to the website, thescienceofflipping.com. If you're out there not getting done or getting anything done and you want to get something done, dude, hit him in the DMs. See if he can make you rich.
Hit my YouTube, bro. It's free education. I literally teach everything. YouTube.com/Justin Colby. Go subscribe. I do 5 videos a week. You will literally know everything.
You should go by justincolby.tv.
I should go by that.
Because if you go to justincolby.tv, which is easier to say,
yeah,
you can forward it to your YouTube. Because like right now, if you go to bradlee.tv,
goes to YouTube.
It's just my YouTube channel.
Come on, man. That's my golden nugget. I know I was taking something here. Let's go.
Folks, until next time, as always, keep it real. Thanks for coming in, bro.
Appreciate it, dude.
Dropping bombs with the real Brad Lee. Subscribe now.